Welcome to video number 5 for 13 Colonies map. My name is Jason, and I'm going to try to help you add some rivers to the map today. There's a category with about 7 rivers listed along the side, and we'll just go through them. I've sketched them in on the map for you, and I'll go over their location, and then you can kind of you can add them into your map. I'll go over my little sketching of them with a blue, and we're going to start off with the Merrimack River, which begins up in New Hampshire, and it flows south. It goes from New Hampshire into Massachusetts, right into the Atlantic, right about there. So just approximately sketch that river line in, just getting it on there as best we can, the close positioning of it. And the spelling is, you can check your category list, but it's Merrimack, and I used a R period rather than write river out. It's a little tight in there. Okay, so just once again, here's the location. Pretty easy to sketch that in. Okay, sometimes the rivers follow the borderline, which is helpful, but not in this case. It just crosses that border. Okay, now we're going to try to locate the Connecticut River, which a good part of that does actually follow some of the state colony boundaries. Okay, I'm going to start where it enters into the Atlantic, right about here. And you can see I'm going to just go over my light pencil line right up through Connecticut into Massachusetts, and then right along the colony boundary between New York and New Hampshire. And that kind of follows that line. You can bring it a little higher. Okay, now I spaced the letters out a little bit. I started right about here, and it's kind of a long word. It's CONNECTICUT. You're going to have to write it kind of small. I used my mechanical pencil for that, just to for that nice sharp point. Once again, I used the abbreviation R period. Okay, this next one is a little easier. It's the Hudson River, and it enters into the Atlantic right over here by Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey, right about here, right in this area. Okay, and it just kind of goes up into northern New York. Well, it actually starts up in the north and flows south into the Long Island Sound. I didn't label the sound, but I did shade it in with a little bit of blue. You can see how I've started to shade my coastline a little bit. This is something you can start to do too. I did label a few bays along the coastline. We'll get into that shortly. Okay, so let's go over the Hudson. HUDSON R period. Okay. That was pretty easy. You can check them off as you go. Here we've done the Connecticut, the Hudson, and the Merrimack. Okay. Okay, this next one is actually pretty easy too. It's the Delaware River, and the mouth of the river is at the Delaware Bay. You can see I actually labeled the Delaware Bay, and I put a little leader line. It's this body of water between New Jersey and Delaware. Okay, so let me sketch the Delaware River. It kind of comes up like this into Pennsylvania. Then it follows the boundary line between Pennsylvania and New Jersey and also New York. Yeah, there it is. That's approximately the location I want. Okay, and this one I also spaced the letters out a little bit because it's got quite a bit of room there. Delaware, R period River. That's the Delaware River. And I'll check that off my list. Okay. Okay, this next one empties into the Chesapeake Bay, which I also labeled on the map. Okay, and you can see how I've colored in the Chesapeake Bay. This is all ocean along this coastline, Atlantic Ocean, and these areas that kind of go into the between some of the states, colonies. These are large bays. Okay, and the Susquehanna River empties into the Chesapeake Bay right about here. You can see how I've sketched it in. I'm just going to go over it with my blue now. Now these are just some of the bigger rivers. You could add if you study any other ones in relation to the 13 colonies, your teacher might want you to put them in, but these are some that we thought would work well. Okay, in Susquehanna, I kind of made my letters, see how I made them follow the course of the river. Susquehannar period. Okay, check that one off. Okay, this next one is it's a little tricky. The Potomac, it also enters into the Chesapeake right about here, and part of it follows the coastline and part of it doesn't, so watch how it kind of connects up with the coastline right about here, and it kind of goes like that. Okay, Potomac, R period. Okay, that just leaves one more, which is the Roanoke River, and this one enters into the Atlantic just above the Pamlico Sound. I sketched, I labeled that sound in North Carolina, the area of water behind these barrier islands. Okay, these are the outer banks here of North Carolina, and that's the Pamlico Sound. If you want to put that in, you can, but it enters a little bit north of that, and it kind of comes up. It just sort of follows the coastline a little bit, crosses a little bit there, and then right up here. Now I had a little bit more room to label this one. I just labeled it along the bottom of the river, Roanoke, and then I had room to write the whole word river. Okay, so there's the Roanoke. Now you can see I've started to color in my coastline a little. Okay, and this is the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so seeing this is all Atlantic, maybe I'll start down here and stretch my letters up like this. ATL. Do it in pencil, so in case you want to redo it. At land. Let's see, Atlantic. I'll put the C there. And then I'll write, it gets kind of busy over here. Maybe I'll just, I'll kind of bring it around like this. Okay, that shows that this is all Atlantic Ocean. And once you're happy with the lettering, you can kind of give them a little bit of decoration. Some of these little decorative touches. That makes it look a little fancier. And you could also, later on when you're happy with it, you could go over it with a darker pencil. Okay, and I'm going to continue coloring my coastline and decorating my letters of the ocean. But that's pretty much the rivers, okay? And hopefully that was a little helpful to you in locating the rivers. It gets a little tricky adding those in, so I hope I was of some help on that. And I've got the ocean, and I think maybe in the next video we'll try to put some of the mountains on the map. Okay, thanks.